There's one thing that beats out all the others when creating memorable videos. Better than any camera body, any camera lens, any camera mic, any fancy drone, lighting setup. The real king of memorable videos is story. So what's up guys, Brendan here. I'm an artist, filmmaker, creator, musician. Now, let's start with some common ground, right? Most creators want to create better videos, right? Most artists want to keep improving their art. Most filmmakers want to create better, more memorable videos. I think as artists, we all want to create work that resonates with other people because that can give us a feeling of purpose and being connected, right? Okay, let's start here, right? Let's set the scene. It relates to something that most of you guys are probably familiar with. It's called the Pixar storytelling formula. It's a formula that I've kind of used on past projects and I've seen other people use, and it basically makes it very easy to formulate a quick story outline of your story. It's an 8-step structure spaced between beginning and end, and it goes like this, okay? Once upon a time, every day, but one day, because of that, and because of that, and finally because of that, until finally, and ever since then, the moral of the story is blah blah blah. I first learned about this watching some courses from Khan Academy. They have a really cool course where they teach you how to do like animation and storytelling and stuff. I'll link it in the description below, but any sort of storytelling, animation, filmmaking, anything like that, it's a really good place to start, especially if you're just starting out. But I mean, even people that have been doing this for a while, like I found so much value in that program. I never would have thought that I would have found any value in it, but you're basically learning from these people that have mastered storytelling, right? These people that work at Pixar that are basically Imagineers of their own, you know? I want to do a little exercise with you guys, right? Okay, so I want you to think of your favorite Pixar movie in your head, and then I kind of want you to imagine the story of your favorite Pixar movie as I'm going through these steps, okay? My favorite Pixar movie is Ratatouille. So we're going to start with our Once Upon a Time, right? Once upon a time, there was a rat named Remy. Every day, he would go steal food from the kitchen of the elderly woman to feed his family. This was when Remy realized he had a very developed sense of taste and smell, right? He would sniff test food for his family and make sure it wasn't poisoned. Remy grew tired of this though and realized that he wanted to use his talents for something more. He wanted to cook, right? But one day, Remy found himself in a tough spot when the elderly woman caught him and his brother stealing food. In a panicked frenzy, she shoots down the ceiling, revealing Remy's whole entire family on the top of the chandelier. Running from the gunfire, Remy ends up falling into a stream and gets sucked into the sewer system that ends up leading him to the city of Paris. Because of that, Remy started having visions of Chef Gusteau and realized that he could become a chef. Anybody can cook, right? Anyone can cook. Because of that, Remy teams up with a new chef in training named Linguini, right? He needs cover. He needs to be able to stay safe. Linguini needs help, so they kind of form this symbiotic relationship together, right? Because of that, Remy pushes himself and Linguini to impress the evil food critic Ego with an amazing dish of ratatouille. Until finally, Ego gets a blast from the past from this ratatouille, and Linguini reveals to him that Remy was the chef all along. Ego then becomes friends with Remy and Linguini, and ever since then, Remy has had his own restaurant in Paris, where he and his family run the restaurant. So the moral of the story is that not everyone can become a great artist, but a great artist can come from anywhere. So let's try and apply this to our own story a little bit. Let's try to tweak this a little bit to be more in a YouTube friendly kind of lens, right? I'm gonna use an example of my own life, my own story that I wanted to tell. This is a story that I used in a video that I just posted recently. So let's apply the same thing that we just went through, the same story structure. Once upon a time, I was a high schooler, passionate about filmmaking and making videos, and I used a Canon Rebel T5i. Every day I would use this camera, but I was used to using the more pricey setups that we had at the school in the classroom. But one day I started working with really nice gear when I started working for a successful YouTube creator. Because of that, I developed a taste for really expensive gear that I couldn't really afford, and a nasty case of gear acquisition syndrome. Because of that, I started to feel like my own Canon T5i was not good enough, and that I needed a Sony a7S II or a Canon 5D Mark IV to reach my true potential as an artist. Because of that, I learned over time that the gear you use to create only really matters to a certain point. And after that point, there can be diminishing returns, so it makes more sense to upgrade in small logical increments over time that won't break the bank. Until finally, I found my king of hybrid shooters, the Lumix S5. which allowed me to capture videos closer to my skill level and the level of taste that I'd developed, and focus back in on the aspects of art and creation that truly matter. And ever since then, I've fallen back in love with creating videos, filming things, and capturing the beauty in the world. The moral of the story is that the stories and memories we capture with our gear are way more memorable than the gear itself. As a creator, I've always had an emphasis on storytelling and creating my own little worlds with my videos, and I've always felt that if you're not creating memorable videos, regardless of your skill level, that you're missing out on a huge piece of the art video creation puzzle, right? Whatever you make. It could be art, video, painting, music, underwater basket weaving, woodwork, I don't know, whatever you fancy, whatever your artistic pursuit is, right? So that's basically it, guys. That's the 8 steps of the Pixar storytelling structure. I want you guys to kind of find your own way to work this into the stuff that you make, right? It might not fall in line exactly with the kind of stuff you make. You might not be able to perfectly adapt it one for one, but tweak it, you know? Break the rules. Once you know the rules, that's when you can break them, right? So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you had a good day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.